Charlotte, welcome.
Hello, Melissa.
Hey, you've got such a talent for telling stories, but you have an equally talented eye for capturing stills. Is this always been an interest of yours, taking pictures?
I would say I always enjoyed talking with people, and it kind of goes hand in hand when you're videoing someone that you want something to give back to whoever you're speaking with, and photos seem to be a way that I could give back by taking somebody's photos, and from there, then you kind of develop a passion for it.
Well, you certainly do. We're looking at some of the work that you've taken. I love you always just manage to catch such an essence of people and moments that people are having. You know, you've been in the North for several years. You're a Southern transplant there. What are your favorite things to get out and take pictures of?
Well, as Ryan mentioned, the Naka, which is the Northern Lights, when I'm not, freezing my bum off out there at night, then I really, really enjoy photographing people in their, I guess, everyday life, whether it's out on the land, in their kitchen, laughing with friends, and kind of catching people off guard. But mostly people.
Those are, the catching people off guard, those candid moments are beautiful. I'm curious, would you rather be out shooting video or would you rather be shooting stills?
That's a really hard question. Some of the best advice I had early on was shooting video as though they were still photographs. For cinematography, as Lee Wilson had mentioned, trying to make your rule of thirds and trying to have different perspectives. It's really hard to say if I'd rather take photos or video. Yeah. I just think they marry so well.
I wanted to, speaking of Lee, we didn't have a chance to discuss it with him, but we have GoPro footage. Lee is like a pro GoPro shooter too. Have you done a lot of experimentation with GoPro and you're shooting for APTN?
I have actually. I've been fortunate enough to go and travel the North with a lot of on-the-land shoots. So GoPros come in very, very handy, when you're on a snowmobile, when you're in a boat, when you're up in a bush plane. And they're not cumbersome. The other thing is, depending on what you're shooting with, I find if you have this big DSLR camera or even a video camera, it can be like another character in the room, and folks can kind of change, how they present themselves. So with a GoPro, it's so inconspicuous that people kind of lighten up and forget that it's there. So I'm a big fan of it. It's waterproof, which helps in extreme climates. I love it. I love how accessible it is. It's inexpensive, same as, phone photography.
Yeah. Well, can we see some of, Lee had shot, this is with a GoPro at a waterfall in northern BC. I'm wondering if we can show our audience that right now. So look at this. This is with a GoPro. As we're watching this, Charlotte, so you had said it's kind of inexpensive. How much does a GoPro run these days?
How much would a GoPro run? You can really get things secondhand, probably a few $100s, but when you kind of factor in how much a mirrorless DSLR would be with different lenses, the lovely thing with a GoPro is that it's just truly is a run and gun camera, where you're not swapping out lenses. You can have the big fisheye. I believe there's settings that you can have just a linear, which is your 16:9 frame. So it gives you a little bit of options. You can get very, very up close to your subject, or you can pull back, and you're not, fumbling around with lenses. But a few $100s, and you can capture things very, very well, like Lee did.
I'm curious, if you could load up. It's your day off. You don't have to worry about doing anything for APTN National News. Day off, nice weather. You just get to load up your gear and hit the road for a day of shooting. Where would you go? What would you do?
Ooh, good question. Probably somewhere in the north, and definitely outside if I have the option to film outdoors. Usually in extremes. The north right now, I believe, is about -46 with wind chill. And you do have to get rather creative when you have limited daylight. Some of the places I've been to, there's no daylight at all when you're past the Arctic Circle. So it really would be where people are going to be. If I know that I'm going to be going to an event, even with friends, there's a lot of times people don't have photos taken of themselves very often, and it's nice to just to throw a camera in your bag, and if you can take some photos, awesome. And it's a nice quiet moment of reflection. Lee mentioned even getting up early in the morning and late in the evening, and I'm definitely a fan of that. We're very fortunate in the north to have these very long golden hours. A lot of the photos that I take, the sun is so prominent. We have midnight sun up here, 24 hours daylight, and then in the winter we have a very little sunlight. So I love capturing the sky with people outside, and breaking a lot of rules, like conventionally, you're kind of taught, don't take photos with the sun, don't shoot right into the sunlight, you don't want this lens flare, but a lot of what I capture is just people enjoying time in the sun.
And breaking the rules.
When we do have it, so. Yes, breaking the rules, absolutely. Just making sure that your subject is comfortable. I don't tell people to smile. That's one thing early on that whether it's for APTN or just I'm taking photos of friends, I just kind of, if they want to smile, awesome, but historically, photographers really, it can be a power imbalance of taking somebody's photo and instructing them what to do, unless it's like a modeling situation. So I try to just capture people in between, however they would like to best present themselves, and always give them the photo after. I always find it can be kind of creepy as a amateur photographer that I take so many photos of people, and then these photos live on my hard drive of kind of strangers. So it's nice to give them back as well.
I love that. Well, we appreciate you taking time to share your gift with us. Hopefully some budding photographers out there got some good tips from us. Keep them coming. I love following you on social media and seeing just little slices of your life. And we are so thankful you could join us.